Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and today we have one of the most important discussions every serious Hero Wars Alliance player should pay attention to right now, because the new Awakened Magic season calendar has officially arrived. And Guardians, this season is not simply about rewards. This season is about change, again. And once more, we are seeing the developers continue moving events, replacing structures, and pushing different progression directions. Because, Guardians, this calendar tells us much more than simply dates. It tells us where the game is going, and there are some very interesting things happening here. Because, yes, we have new skins. Yes, we have relics. Yes, we finally have ORM arriving. But again, there are old events disappearing. Old structures changing. New resources appearing. And some very important progression decisions that players will need to make. So, Guardians, let us break this season down correctly and go date by date, because there is a lot happening here. The season begins on June 8th with Abyss Splendor. And Guardians, by now we understand this event much better. This event explores Outland, Tower Progression, and Titanite Collection to obtain Skinstone chests, Rune Spheres, and several progression resources. And yes, Guardians, Rune Spheres again. This continues being one of the most interesting changes because resources that previously lived inside other structures are slowly appearing inside these newer systems. Realm players again receive additional resources through unit training and progression activities. So while Outland Splendor itself disappeared, Abyss Splendor still remains an excellent way to start the season. Then, from June 11th until June 14th, we move into Ancient Awakening. And Guardians, this is huge, because this is no longer simply another Titan event. This is ORM, Soul Stones, artifacts, new skin, resources, and immediately this becomes one of the biggest highlights of the season, because this is where players begin building the newest Ellerite Titan. And Guardians, this becomes extremely important because unlike many previous releases, ORM arrives directly connected to water structures and Ellerite mechanics. So if building ORM is part of your plans, these days matter enormously. Then from June 15th until June 17th, we move into Secrets of the Dungeon. Guardians, this remains one of the best events for Titan Skinstones. And now this becomes even more important, because Titans continuously receive more skins, more upgrades, more specialization. And Titan skins remain expensive, very expensive. So Dungeon continues being one of the easiest recommendations possible. Play it, collect resources, take advantage. Then from June 18th until June 20, we enter Shards of the Past. And Guardians, by now we understand what this event actually means. Relic progression, talisman resources, rune stones, Hydra activities, arena tasks, and again, realm activities for players progressing there. Importantly, Guardians, there are no new talismans arriving during this event. That was confirmed. But this event remains extremely valuable because relics continue becoming more important with every new release. And Guardians, relic shards remain one of those resources players never seem to have enough of. Then, on June 21st, Seer's game returns. And Guardians, this remains exactly what it always was. Luck, risk, celebration, pain, flip cards, chase rewards. Pray Mama Chaba saves your account. Simple. Then from June 24th until June 26th, we enter Rune Storm. And Guardians, by now, we know this event much better too. Rune stones, rune spheres, red equipment fragments, expeditions, skinstones, realm activities, And yes, Guardians, this remains one of the biggest structural replacements we have seen. Because when we lost Alliance of Forces, when we lost Runic Milestone, many questions appeared. Rune Storm became part of that answer. And Guardians, many players still continue comparing old structures versus new structures. Then, from June 27th until June 30th, Dawn skins arrive. And Guardians, we already know something important. Cascade will be inside the Season Pass. We still do not know what skin will appear inside Seer's game. But one thing we do know, Cascade, Satori, Miyu, Somna, all 4 heroes will receive skins this season. And Guardians, new skins always matter. Because new skins can change scaling, change priorities, change investments, and sometimes change entire teams. Then from June 30th until July 2nd, we arrive at Way of Mystery. And this time, Cascade. Guardians. This event focuses on hero evolution, progression, soul stones, and resources connected to mystery heroes. And this time, Cascade becomes the featured hero. Which is interesting because Cascade continues becoming increasingly relevant inside magical compositions, control structures, and scaling teams. So if Cascade is part of your plans, this event matters. Then, beginning July 3rd, we receive Titan Power. And Guardians. This is another important difference. Because this time, Titan Power focuses heavily around Titan resources and Umbra evolution. Meaning, once again, Titan progression remains heavily present throughout the season. And honestly, Guardians, this should not surprise us anymore. Because Titans continue receiving enormous attention lately. At exactly the same time, we also receive Blessing of Worlds, running from July 3rd until July 5th. This event focuses on light and dark Titan fragments. And Guardians. With the constant increase in Titan specialization, this becomes extremely useful. Because building light and dark Titans remains expensive. Very expensive. So Guardians, overall, this season feels very different. Again, not necessarily bad. Different, exciting, and different matters. Because slowly, we continue seeing developers experimenting with progression systems, reward structures, and seasonal pacing. Some classics disappeared. Some rewards moved. Some events changed completely. And now we continue watching. Especially Alliance of Forces, Runic Milestone, Outland, Splendor, Treasures of Valkyries, Talisman Fever. These were not small events. And Guardians. The fact we continue talking about them means they mattered. Oh, and Guardians. Before we finish, let us not forget something extremely important, because there are some major changes coming outside the calendar itself. Starting June 8th, Skinstones are changing completely. Outland bosses are retiring. World map bosses are taking their place. And Guardians. This is actually huge. Because Skinstones will now become obtainable directly through the realm simply by launching rallies and defeating bosses while continuing your normal progression. And according to the information we have right now, players may actually obtain more Skinstones than previously possible through traditional outland farming. We are talking about thousands of additional Skinstones over time. But this also means something else. The Outland entrance itself is disappearing. The Outland chest remains available and continues functioning normally inside the Hall of Fortune, so do not panic, Guardians. Your chests are not disappearing. However, Highwaymen are disappearing. Completely. The mode is being discontinued. The Highwayman shop remains available, until July 6th, which means Guardians, if you still have coins sitting there, spend them. Do not wait. And perhaps most interestingly, the developers already confirmed something else is coming. More Dominion updates, more changes, more ways of obtaining skin stones. So Guardians, this season may actually be much bigger than we initially thought. But now we move forward. Because ORM is arriving, Cascade receives focus. Titans continue evolving. New skins continue appearing. And once again, the next few weeks inside Hero Wars may become extremely interesting. Trust me, Guardians, this season is only beginning. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.